Hey, this is Sam from This Exists, and today we're doing a collaboration because we are where?
At VidCon.
VidCon!
VidCon!
Woo!
Teens are everywhere!
We're gonna do a little video on MP3s and how they changed the culture of the internet. It's gonna be awesome. You should go watch his channel at this pretty annotation right here. Woo!
And watch this video right now.
And watch this video right now. MP3 is everywhere. If you're streaming or downloading, there's probably an MP3 in there somewhere. But why is MP3 the most popular form of audio these days? Let's crack some information history and find out. Hi, my name is Emily, and this is Blink Pop Shift. MP3's compression algorithm takes advantage of the limitations of human hearing to pack more information into a smaller space. A trick we discovered way back in 1894 when Alfred Mayer, an American physicist, figured out that a tone could be made inaudible by another tone at a lower frequency. Mind blown, right? Well, sure, it doesn't seem that impressive by itself, but like most innovation, as technology improves, things multiply and mate and have awesome sauce babies. And down the road, little things like inaudible tones become instantly streaming audio and video to that tiny computer that lives inside your pocket. Or bruh. It wasn't until the late 1970s that a use was found for this phenomenon. A German researcher was working on the problem of chopping up human speech into digital chunks and pumping them down a phone line, but got stuck on the problem of size. Information has a size. So cool. His digital speech could be transmitted and replicated multiple times perfectly, which, by the way, is not true of an analog signal, but required the transfer of more information than the analog version of the same speech. Way more than was feasible on any phone line at the time. That would be like trying to load Netflix on dial-up. Not pretty. So while waiting for infrastructure to improve and fiber optics to become a thing, one of the researcher's students set about applying that 1800s idea to masking out sounds humans couldn't hear anyway from music, all to create a form small enough to pump through those piddly 1970s phone lines. Let's put this in a bit of context. Back in 1996, when digital music was mostly floating around in 50 megabyte wave files, the average modem could suck bits through a tiny straw. They could transfer, wait for it, 34 kilobytes a second on a perfect connection. Wow. And that meant keeping your older sister from camping the house's only phone line so she can talk to boys because hormones. It took 3 to 4 hours to download a single track. That is totally unacceptable. I need my tunes. Yet, after 1996, when the MP3 came to power, those 50 megabyte wave files turned into 3 or 4 megabyte MP3 files. Do you care? Because HBO thinks you do. Have you watched, say, Silicon Valley? Jared is my favorite. Man, I love that show, but sometimes they cut a little close to the technology nerd bone. But what startling new tech is the revolutionary startup based on? A compression algorithm used to make spherical 3D video, which around here we call my job, and medical data and whatever else you want, so small you can stream it to your smartphone. No networks or ISPs need improve their horrible aging infrastructure. Take away the part where Pied Piper's algorithm is probably mathematically impossible and leave the passionate awe for what compression can mean for the future of information, and you get close to what MP3s have meant to the world. But while MP3 was... I totally just spit on the camera. I apologize. But while MP3 was at the heart of our reorientation around intellectual property and file sharing, it didn't make music more shareable. Music has always been shareable. That's kind of the point of music. We play it for each other, we write it down so others can play it and arrange it in mixtapes so we can send it to our girlfriends across the street who you totally have like this little fishing line to her window and you can just hook the mixtape on there or like a little basket or something and just like swing it into her window. I totally didn't do that. Music was never just a physical artifact trapped on the grooves of a vinyl disc, or strung between reels of analog tape. It has always been copy and shareable. We've shared it all kinds of ways because it communicates our deepest held emotions, and MP3 is only the newest format in that lineage. The MP3 was shaped by everything around it. The electronics industry, the recording industry, idealized forms of listening, and actual habits. It was even shaped by Tom's Diner by Suzanne Vega, the first song used to develop the MP3. It's the Suzanne Vega bias! Formats that contain container technologies of our content determine who can see and hear culture and where. This particular rapper has long been maligned as lesser than analog and live music, but digital audio thrives in a niche unknown to previous formats. Online, people and algorithms collaborate to make environments like Songza and Pandora and Spotify that learn what kind of music you like and help you find new bands. But you know, as long as they're not like too niche or indie or good. Music may not have changed much, but the environment in which music lives has become fundamentally different. Driven by what Kevin Kelly in What Technology Wants would have called music's desire to spread, to be shared and heard and infect as many hosts as possible, music's new container technology, when it came into contact with the internet, the world's best cultural infection vector, the format and not the music became the pioneer in reshaping our concept of property. Not just intellectual property, but ownership and sharing in general. Can you own a song, legally obtained or otherwise, if you can then create an exact copy of that song and share it with anyone in the world? You know, as long as you know how to Google DRM removal. But these days, we have no problem with this idea, with the distributed ownership of content, with sharing, with the cloud. So, did MP3s lead to sharing economies like Uber? The distributed car sharing app that has been slowly replacing taxis? Is the sharing of objects and services different from the sharing of files? Did we want to share all along and music just showed us the way? That's just weird. But that's why MP3s aren't just about music. I won't go so far as to say that the MP3 compression and the hyper sharing that it enabled created the 2.0, 3.0 internet, but what do you think?
So if you liked Emily's video, surf on over in the internet to This Exists, which is a channel that I have where I've also made a video about MP3s and portable music. I'm really appreciative of Emily wanting to do this because she's smart and I think I'm pretty smart. And when I watch Blink Pop Shift, I'm like, fuck, I'm dumb. I just swear a lot and I do this. Be curious.
Is the show really over?
Hi, we're here at VidCon with notable musician Sam Sutherland.
Yeah, I'm very famous in Canada.
And we're going to talk about how MP3 algorithms drove the culture of sharing on the internet.
It's perfect. I want to interrupt with this important anecdote, which is that I really love Emily's channel, and I emailed her to be like, we should do a video together. I do this thing about music, and there's a lot of interesting stuff between music and technology, obviously. And you were like, that would be great, but I don't know anything about music. One time in college, someone showed me a video of a record player.
And I thought it was a CD. And I was like, wow, how did you get that CD to turn like that? And everyone just stared at me like I was an idiot.